Hello everyone. I've been taking time through this COVID crisis to watch and to listen. I like stories. I like to know about people's lives. And I've observed just how this virus has touched and affected so many different people. As I share this, an estimated 60,000 plus have lost their lives to it in this country alone. That's 60,000 individuals. But it's not just 60,000 individuals. Each person is a family member, a loved one, a friend, a neighbour, maybe a colleague. I listened recently to a Desert Island Discs programme which spoke to ordinary people from all walks of life, sharing their COVID stories and pieces of music that had helped them through it. I found that it hit on all sorts of levels. Families not being able to be with loved ones as they died. Partners unable to be at the birth of their child. I listened to the story of a man who was taken ill, deteriorated very quickly, and was told that he had 10 minutes to speak to his family before he was placed on a ventilator and into an induced coma. His wife, his children, his mother. He sent them a track of music on WhatsApp and said to think of him when they listened to it. And then there's the fear. For me, I had fear for when my wife and daughter were going into work every day on the front line at West Suffolk Hospital. I was scared. I was fearful too in my own work with vulnerable adults. We'd locked down 2 weeks before the national instruction, and we've worked long, hard hours to keep the folk safe. The fear of the virus getting in amongst them and the potential consequences was very real. It still is very real. Then there's the effect of lockdown. What has that meant for so many people? Isolation, a very major issue surrounding mental health, which we may live with for many years to come. Loss of financial security and employment, the worry of sustaining your own business that you've spent years building, in the space of a few weeks, gone. Completely having to rethink the structure of our lives, of how we go about doing even the most basic of things. The rigours and implications of homeschooling. You'll have your own stories. But there's something else that's loomed large in my thoughts. The compassion of Jesus. It's really struck me. Jesus felt, he saw, he reacted with compassion on a people disorientated, stumbling along, lost. He was moved to compassion. There's many examples we see in the Bible of Jesus acting with compassion. We read of him being moved with pity in healing a leper, of having compassion on the crowd, on seeing a widow going to bury her son. His heart broke, we read. One particular story strikes me, and it may not be an obvious one, but perhaps read it afresh Read it slowly and just allow God to show you the compassion of his Son. In John chapter 8, verses 1 to 11, we read the story of the adulterous woman. It's perhaps one of the most surprising stories. Read it through. Take time to notice the manner of Jesus' reaction. With the crowd baying for judgment and punishment, Jesus simply bends down and writes in the sand. Just picture it, he's taking his time. He slowly stands up and he questions the crowd. Then he bends down again, begins writing again in the sand. The crowd slowly disperse, leaving Jesus alone with the woman. In his commentary on this, Fillmore observes that Jesus saw three things which show us the kind of Messiah he is. He saw her as a victim. He saw her humility. He sees his own blood. What compassion! What amazing grace! It's my belief that Christian mission begins with the fact that Jesus feels compassion for lost and hurting people. His heart goes out to a world, to a people, to individuals who are broken and hurting. And Jesus wants us, he wants me to do something about it. So, my prayer has become, God, give me your heart of compassion. God bless.